Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today, one of the biggest stories, of course, is going to be Zelenskyy arrives at White House for talks with Trump and EU leaders. Now, the media continues to snark, as well as the left, about what was actually accomplished in Alaska. But here today is yet another example of what is being accomplished. And I agree with what Keir Starmer said, the Prime Minister of the UK, and that is that more has been done in the last 2 weeks than in the last 2 years. And I agree with him wholeheartedly on that. And of course, here we have the bias rating distribution here from Ground News. And we're going to start it off with the AP. Zelenskyy, Trump expressed hope for trilateral talks with Putin to bring end to Russia-Ukraine war. And of course, we know the original trilateral agreement between the United States, the UK, and Russia if Ukraine gave up all of its nuclear weapons there in Ukraine. So we know that story. You guys can certainly look that up if you want to read more into it. Washington, Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and President Donald Trump expressed hope that their critical meeting Monday with European leaders at the White House could soon lead to three-party talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin to bring an end to his war on Ukraine. The U.S. president also said he would back European security guarantees for Ukraine as European leaders gathered for the extraordinary White House meeting. And of course, it is best to see some of this with clips, but we get the premise. We understand the idea here. So let's hear a little bit from Keir Starmer himself.
This war in Ukraine has been going on a really long time now. I mean, 3+ years. Hugely impacted the Ukrainians who suffered hugely. But it's also impacted Europe, it's impacted every single family and community in the United Kingdom. And so everybody wants it to end, not least the Ukrainians. But we've got to get this right. We've got to make sure there is peace, that it is lasting peace, and that it is fair and that it is just. And that's why I'm travelling to Washington with other European leaders to discuss this face-to-face with President Trump and President Zelenskyy, because it's in everyone's interests, it's in the UK's interests that we get this right.
That's right, and it should be done correctly. And of course, we already know, in a perfect world, Russia surrenders all the territory they took from Ukraine, and then they stop invading Ukraine. I mean, that's what it is in a perfect world. That includes Crimea. It is unlikely and impractical that that's going to happen. So we're going to hear the left continue to complain, and others complain, that whatever deal is reached, it's still going to be portrayed as a disadvantage for Ukraine. So no matter what we do here, yet I rarely ever hear them complain about what happened when Russia invaded Crimea under Obama's watch and Joe Biden's watch, why very little, if nothing, was done then. Now, Trump has done a lot, and it doesn't take, a little bit of objectivity here to see what he has accomplished or what he is trying to do. Now, of course, he didn't shut it down in 24 hours and these sorts of things, but at least he's making progress. And as Keir Starmer said, I would argue that Donald Trump has done more in the last 6 months than presidents have done in their entire terms. So Trump is getting things done. He has the knowledge and the experience now under the first administration, where the establishment tried to throw him under the bus, tried to give him directions and leadership that was wrong and bad. And now we're seeing a much improved Donald Trump getting things done in the world. Let's hear a little bit from Zelenskyy.
We live under each day attacks. You know that today have been a lot of attacks and a lot of wounded people, and the child was dead. It's a small gun, 1 year and a half. So we need to stop this war, to stop Russia, and we need support, American and European partners. And we will do our best for this. I think we show that we are strong people, and we supported the idea of the United States, personally of President Trump, to stop this war, to make a diplomatic way of finishing this war. And we are ready for Trilateral, as President said. This is a good signal about Trilateral. I think this is very good.
Look, we just spoke to, I was just telling the President, I just spoke to President Putin indirectly, and we're going to have a phone call right after these meetings today. And we may or may not have a trilat. If we don't have a trilat, then the fighting continues. And if we do, we have a good chance. I think if we have a trilat, there's a good chance of maybe ending it. But he's he's expecting my call when we're finished with this meeting. Thank you very much, everybody.
So interesting, is it not, when we go from Keir Starmer here to Zelensky, that the direction or attitude or description has changed to ending the war, right? And the outline of those who have been victimized by the war, as Zelensky was saying there. And it kind of predicates what I say here, like when I hear these people talking about this. And, of course, they're going to express that whatever's going to happen with Ukraine is not going to be in the best interest of Ukraine. And my comment to that is, so what we should be doing is drip-feeding Ukraine to sour Russia on Putin at the expense of Ukrainians. It's not hard to figure out. Is Ukraine willing to hold out for up to 10 years, hoping Russians will eventually turn on Putin like they did in Afghanistan? And how many Ukrainian lives will that cost? Right? Because the idea here is, and what we've experienced now for the last 3 years, was the Democrats drip-feeding Ukraine because they hate Putin as much as they hate Donald Trump. So they were content to drip-feed Ukraine in the hopes of souring the people of Russia on Putin, that they would overthrow him like they did in the Soviet Union with the Afghanistan war. That took 10 years. Do you think Ukraine could last another 7 years of this? And how is it that the Democrats can be satisfied at the expense of Ukrainian lives? And that's what I tell them. And it's so rare for them to respond to that, because they just don't see it. They see their hatred for Putin and Trump, and they don't see the consequences of allowing this to continue to happen. It's absolutely extraordinary. We're going to listen to a little bit of what Zelensky says here.
Speak without microphone. Thank you so much. I think that we had very good conversation with President Trump.
Very good.
And it really was the best one. Maybe the best one will be in the future. But it was really good. And we spoke about very sensitive points. The first one is security guarantees. And we are very happy with President that all the leaders are here, and the security in Ukraine depends on the United States and on you and on those leaders who are with us in our hearts. They have been online before yesterday, and etc. So a lot of countries on the side of Ukraine, our people, and all of us want to finish this war, stop Russia and stop this war. We spoke.
Amazing, isn't it? Now it's all about stopping the war. It's absolutely extraordinary. Yet another example of what Donald Trump is trying to do by ending the war. And I understand it's not going to probably be a very comfortable deal. Now, I don't like Russia any more than the left dislikes Russia. But the thing is, this is an unfortunate situation that Russia had probably calculated and knew would be as complicated and difficult and filled with challenges. And so now trying to unravel this. But at the same time, and I didn't bring this up, I think I may have it here, on my desktop. This is the most pivotal thing here and validates so much of what we say here. And we have Eric Doherty say, wow, Vladimir Putin is making Democrats furious after saying when President Trump says it was the president's back then, when President Trump says if he was the president back then, there would be no war. It would indeed be so. I can confirm that. So here you have Putin. They keep making this argument about Putin being a puppet master. Well, a puppet master isn't going to capitulate like this. A puppet master is going to do what he wants with the leaders that he wants to do things with. And he did it under Joe Biden. So if he was puppeting anybody, it was Joe Biden. But that's just an expression they use, which is really dumb, and it doesn't work. And this post by Eric Doherty exemplifies that, and a comment from Vladimir Putin. It confirms it. And but I do welcome your guys' thoughts and comments down in the published section. I don't know why I call it that. The comment section on what your thoughts are. Are we continuing to move forward? What will we see? What will end this? How will it end? And will it really end up stopping Russia from maybe pursuing this, maybe delaying this until another opportunity comes along for them to do this? Now, I don't know. Maybe J.D. Vance will be president after Donald Trump, and this will continue to stand, and whether or not Putin will, still be around, anything can happen. All kinds of things can happen. But I do welcome your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section. If you have those, concerning what direction we're going in with this and how it could turn out. So I welcome that. But I do want to thank all you guys across New Tech. That's BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey for your guys' continued support. Everyone here on YouTube. Below this video, ladies and gentlemen, you can find all of the various social media links that I belong to include X. You guys can follow me there. And, of course, my affiliate marketing links. That's both for Amazon and TrustZone VPN. You guys can use those safely and privately, and it does help out the channel. But, of course, helping out the channel is as simple, ladies and gentlemen, as hitting like and commenting and, of course, sharing the content, which does help out the channel. But thank you so very much for your guys' continued support. Appearing there on the screen for all of you watching on YouTube, that's going to be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.